Arsenal make formal approach to sign Jeremy Monga from Leicester City. Arsenal, the latest Premier League club to make a formal approach for a highly rated Leicester City youngster Jeremy Monga. Arsenal, reportedly the latest Premier League club to make a formal approach for a highly rated Leicester City youngster Jeremy Monga, as interest in the teenage winger intensifies ahead of the summer transfer window. According to Team Talk, Arsenal have joined Manchester United and Manchester City in preparing formal approaches for the Leicester City prospect, who has quickly emerged as one of England's most exciting young talents. The report claims that more than half of the Premier League are monitoring the 16-year-old, with several clubs ready to act once regulations allow him to sign a professional contract. Monga has already attracted widespread attention, following his rapid rise through Leicester's ranks. The winger made headlines when he featured for the Foxes at just 15 years and 271 days, becoming one of the youngest players to appear in the Premier League. Despite Leicester's relegation, he has continued his development this season, making over 20 appearances and establishing himself as one of the club's brightest prospects. The growing interest in Monga comes at a time when Leicester City face uncertainty over their future, with reports suggesting the club could face further relegation concerns. This situation has increased speculation about the youngster's future, particularly as he cannot sign a professional contract until he turns 17 in July. That timeline has prompted several clubs, including Arsenal, to prepare formal approaches in advance. Arsenal's interest reflects their continued focus on recruiting elite young talent. Under manager Mikel Arteta, the Gunners have placed significant emphasis on youth development, with players such as Ethan Moneri and Miles Lewis-Skelly breaking into the first-team picture in recent seasons. The potential addition of Monga would further strengthen Arsenal's long-term planning. However, Arsenal face intense competition. Team Talk reports that several other Premier League sides, including Liverpool, Tottenham Hotspur, Newcastle United, Aston Villa, Brighton and Hove Albion and Brentford, are also monitoring the situation. European heavyweights such as Real Madrid, Juventus and Borussia Dortmund are also believed to be tracking the winger's progress. Leicester City, meanwhile, remain hopeful of keeping hold of their rising star. The club are reportedly preparing to offer Monga a professional contract as soon as he becomes eligible, believing that opportunities for first-team football could persuade him to remain at the King Power Stadium. The race for Leicester City wonderkid Jeremy Monga is intensifying, with more than half of the Premier League preparing moves for the teenage sensation, including the likes of Manchester United, Arsenal and Manchester City. Team Talk can exclusively reveal. Monga has long been on the radar of England's elite clubs, but last summer he turned down multiple approaches to commit his immediate future to Leicester by signing scholarship terms shortly after making his Premier League debut. The winger featured for the Foxes, aged just 15 years and 271 days, becoming one of the youngest players ever to appear in the Premier League. Despite Leicester's relegation, he remained with the club and has continued his rapid development this season, racking up more than 20 appearances this season. However, with Leicester now facing the prospect of a further drop into League One, Monga's future is firmly under the spotlight. Our sources understand that Man United, Arsenal and Man City are all primed to make formal approaches for the youngster, who cannot sign a professional contract with Leicester until he turns 17 in July. A host of other Premier League sides are also monitoring the situation closely. Liverpool, Tottenham Hotspur, Newcastle United, Aston Villa, Brighton and Hove Albion and Brentford have all registered an interest in the highly rated attacker. But the battle for Monga is not limited to England, as sources have confirmed that European heavyweights Real Madrid, Juventus and Borussia Dortmund are also keeping a close eye on his progress. A move abroad could prove particularly attractive, as it would allow any interested club to secure his signature for only minimal compensation under current regulations. Leicester, however, are not giving up hope of keeping hold of one of their brightest prospects. Sources indicate the Foxes are preparing to offer Monga a professional contract as soon as he turns 17, and believe the promise of regular first-team football could prove decisive in convincing him to stay, rather than progressing through academy systems elsewhere. While Leicester remain keen to retain him, the growing level of interest, both domestically and across Europe, means they are facing an increasingly difficult fight.